I know some people may think that this blonde hair looks cute on me. It actually, in person, it was not as harmonious as when I have my dark hair. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Gwen for those of you who are new here. So in today's video, we are talking beauty trends and particularly how they could be working against you and not for you. What sparked this video was I was talking to my sister and we were literally talking about how when she wears nude colors, which is something that a lot of people have been doing, when she wears those browns, blacks, creams, whites, she looks completely stunning and she looks expensive and she looks feminine. And when I wear those colors, I feel like it makes me look kind of dull. And we were talking about it because we were like, wow, it's so crazy how following these certain type of beauty trends or things that pop up can either really enhance the way you look and give you good advice, or it could do the opposite and completely work against you. So that's where we're going to be chatting about today. So I want you to grab your tea, grab your coffee, and let's get into it. This video is going to be totally opinion based, obviously, because someone looking better or worse is subjective. So take everything that I say with a grain of salt. It literally is just my opinion, and if you're someone who you happen to like these things, do what you like. So my very first thing that can be considered a beauty trend that may actually be working against you and not for you is eyelash extensions or strip lashes. Obviously, I do personally think that longer lashes can make anyone look more girly and more feminine. I personally believe this. However, you have to know what kind of lash to get. I used to get lashes back in the day before I moved here to Colorado because I have not found a lash girl. And when I first started getting lashes, I was basically a newbie at it and I'm like, I just want to look cuter. And I got these lashes and for some reason, every time I would wear these lashes, my husband was not feeling them. He would kind of be like, something looks off, you know? And it wasn't until I started looking a little bit closer, like I'm not looking cuter, I'm looking more fake or like more artificial. Like it's not making me look more girly and dainty, it's making me look kind of harsh. And I looked at it and I looked at my color palette. When I look at my eyebrows, they are very light and feathered. I also realized, okay, I have very fine hair, even though like my hair is naturally curly, I have a lot of hair, but it's very fine hair. And I said, when I go to get these bold black lashes, because that's the color they were using, I was like, it's not giving harmony. And I ended up saying, okay, I need to like eliminate that harshness. So I said, okay, I have to get a lighter color lash. And as soon as I switched over to brown eyelashes, it began to look a little bit better. It started to look more in harmony with me. So switching over and knowing the correct coloring can truly make a difference. And in my case, getting black lashes was actually making me look worse, even though I was following that beauty trend. But when I switched over to brown lashes, and more specifically, knowing the shape, knowing what kind of lash set to do is gonna take it a step even further, because some people, we're all different, right? Some people have fox eyes, some people have almond eyes, some people have doll eyes, and each eye shape looks better with a certain kind of lash application. Okay, so my next tip is actually what I talked a little bit about in the beginning of this video, and that is color. So one beauty trend that I see starting to actually become a thing is to start looking more simple and simplistic, and that includes wearing a lot of nude colors. So I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of girls who have, maybe they were into patterns and bright colors and they decided to dim down their style to more nudes like whites, creams, grays, browns, and switching down their coloring actually made them look a lot more expensive in certain people's eyes and just all around more put together. But this could be working against you if you're like me, who you look more cute and you look better in more vibrant clothing. And that is the case for me. I find that Colors actually make me look more vibrant and more girly, and obviously that's the look that I'm going for. Honestly, my husband has also said this, like, you look really nice in certain colors over other colors, and it's not a dark or light kind of issue. I personally find that it's more so in your undertones, and then it's more so in your color palette. And one lady that I love in particular who really touches on this stuff is Ali Art.
Are you muted or are you clear? If you're new, probably you should watch this video first. 5 types of contrast. It will really help you to see different types of contrast balance in the bodies. Also, you probably want to watch the temperature for each of those types.
She basically breaks down your coloring, and she's also into the Clothibg body chart. Like if you're a natural, a soft natural, a gamine, she breaks down these things, and she helps you to understand not only your coloring, but what things work for you. And I love her channel. I think she does an incredible job at breaking things down. So I will go ahead and link her channel down below. This may be a little bit of a hot take, but I am gonna say weight. So weight is something that's kind of like a interesting topic, because in certain cultures, you being more of like a fuller shaped woman is seen as like a beauty trend. And in other cultures, you being seen as like a super thin, kind of like Victoria's Secret model is a beauty trend, right? But what I want to say is when it comes to certain trends, particularly this one, you have to work with what you have. And I find that that's best for each person. And I'm not talking about what's healthy or not. Obviously, you should be at a healthy body weight just for your health, whatever that looks like for you. But some people are not 105 pounds. For example, you can take the same girl, the same height, and she looks completely different at 140 than another girl that same height, same weight. They look completely different. I do notice sometimes, for the sake of following trends, people may try to gain a ton of weight, and it's not really doing anything for them, because for those particular people, they may look really good. And of course, this is my opinion. Again, I'm not talking about everyone. You do whatever you like and whatever you feel most comfortable with. So sometimes we'll see people who maybe because of the trend's sake, they want to either lose weight, like let's say a super thick person who may be healthy, but because the trend is to be very small and petite, they may try to lose a ton of weight, pushing on maybe being underweight. And for that person, it doesn't look as good as if they were to stay at the weight that their body naturally wants to be at. And the same for the other end. We see so many people who may be small, and they're trying to go on this thing of gaining weight because being thicker is in, right? And to be honest, I think sometimes it could work for or against you, because like I said in the beginning, sometimes people at 140 looks a lot different from other people at 140. So you got to find what works for you. And whether you are a little bit thicker or whether you are a little bit thinner, there is a way that you can work both. Okay, so another thing that could be working against you is makeup trends. Why is it that when certain women wear more makeup, they look a little bit cuter, and then when other women wear more makeup, it actually looks drag queenish, unless that's the look you're going for? Get familiar with your bone structure, get familiar with your features, get familiar with your face, because that's going to help you to realize what things you should do that works better for you. Because I know at one point, I'll take me for example, at one point having eyeshadow looks was super in, and when I wear eyeshadow, for some reason it makes me look more masculine. And if that's the look I was going for, then okay, that would work. But because that's not the look that I was going for, I was trying to look more cute and dainty, it was actually working against me. Even though when I would see it on other women, I would be like, wow, that looks beautiful. Like, for example, my mother-in-law was here and she had me do her makeup, and when I put on eyeshadow on her, she looked so good. And when I wear eyeshadow, it's particularly, you know, like smoky eyes or whatever, it could be, yes, that I'm not doing it correctly, but I've tried a range of different looks, and I find that nothing looks better on me than having very simple light makeup above my eyes. I would say that not only works for eyeshadow, but also contour. Find out your face shape. There are many different face shapes. There's oblong face, there's square faces, there's heart faces, and each face has different contouring techniques. So get familiar with your features, get familiar with your face. Your body is going to thank you for it. And the last thing that I want to talk about is hair color. Certain things can be in trend, other things cannot. Like I remember at one point, balayage hair color was super in trend. And when it comes down to hair color, makeup, weight, all these things, I kind of want everyone to kind of withdraw from even following trends and just looking at what works best for you. Yes, look at trends for inspiration, but use them to work in your favor. Hair color has always been a hot topic. Some people, they like themselves more as blonde. Some people like themselves more as brunette. And if you're someone who you're like, I don't really know, my husband's playing with my baby to give me time to record this video. Thank you, honey. If you're someone who you're like, I don't really know, what I personally find works best is if you're someone like me and you have dark hair by nature. Naturally, God gave you dark hair and you want to go a little bit lighter. I find that sticking between 1 and 3 shades is going to be the best look. And then also look at the undertones. Sometimes you want to go blonde, but if you're more of a cooler undertone, certain warm kind of blondes just really wash you out. So find a colorist who knows about color, who knows different undertones and what colors are going to help you better. That's why a lot of people, yes, I love a do-it-yourself. You guys watch my channel, I'm always doing things myself, but it's after I've done so much research or talked to a professional first, just to kind of get their take on like coloring and everything like that. And particularly when I was coloring my hair and coloring my hair extensions, I went and actually studied like the color wheel to find out what tones look best on me. But catch 22, I know some people may think that this blonde hair looks cute on me. It actually, in person, it was not as harmonious as when I have my dark hair. And I don't even know why I was trying to change it and get blonde hair to begin with, but you can make it work for you. So I don't want to say that if you're naturally brunette and you get blonde hair, it's not going to look good. No, I've seen it done where it looks freaking amazing. But I think for more times than not, when you go from like an extreme brunette to a super high blonde, it needs to either be a balayage where you're keeping that dark root, and it also needs to be the correct tone of blonde. And you also may be someone like me who just realizes that maybe dark hair works better with your features. So again, I know this is a super heavy topic, but I want to kind of keep it like surface level just to kind of tell you hair is something that could be working against you, particularly when following trends. You want to do what works best for you. Don't just go blindly following trends hoping that it works out, especially when cutting your hair. Like, you don't want to go do that because you may actually realize like, oh no, long hair looks best on me. So I know there was a lot of tips, but I genuinely hope you guys have found something that is helpful to you. And if you guys have any comments or you have some advice down below, I would love to hear your take on it. Other than that, I thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.